Hey everyone, welcome to this week's Facebook Live. Super excited to be here. So if you're online at all, make sure you give me a shout out because I'd love to hear from you. I don't really have much to share with you this morning before we get started on our project, but just one reminder is that Sale-a-bration's only got just a little over a week to go. So it's a great opportunity for you to get those last minute items that you need. So stock up on things like your white cardstock, your envelopes, your adhesive, the things that you use a lot of. The other thing too to take note of is that our these colours here are going to be retiring at the end of May. So make sure you get your ink refills, your cardstock, maybe some more ink pads if you wish, embellishments, whatever that goes with these ink colours. So we got powder pink, berry burst, lemon lime twist, tranquil tide and fresh fig. I'm definitely going to be missing lemon lime twist. That's one of my favourite ink colours out of this collection. So I'm going to be stocking up on my re-inkers and cardstock of that. So make sure you stock up. Great opportunity to do that. The other thing too to take note of is this week we're just going to do something a little bit different. So if you would like to shop online in my online store this week between today and Friday, and if you use this host code, I will be sending you a card kit for next week's Facebook Live, so you can join in and participate with us. So there's the host code right there at the bottom of your screen, and here's the link to shop online. So let's get started with today's project. So I'll give you a sneak peek of what we're going to be creating today. So this card, we are using the Botanical Butterfly Designer Series paper. That's a free item that you can get with Sale-a-bration at the moment, so make sure you sign up and you can get that when you spend $90. So our card kit here, we need our thick Whisper White card base, as well as I've got a piece of my designer paper, and this piece here is the same size as my card front. So this is 4 by 1/8 of an inch by 5 7/8 of an inch. Then I've got my green leafy piece, and I don't have much of this piece left actually. I seem to be using a lot of it. And this piece here is measuring 3 3/4 by 5 7/8. So basically what we want it to do is we just want to see these down the sides here. The alternative you can do is just cut a little strip of this, and then we can stick that strip down the side. But I've just gone ahead and done a whole sheet as well. Then you need some scrap of that paper as well, and then also we've got this beautiful sheet of butterflies, and we're going to use some of these butterflies here. So I've already gone ahead and I've cut out 3 of the butterflies that are located on this this spread here, and just use my paper snips and cut those out. So, and then I've got a scrap piece of Whisper White cardstock as well. So let's get started. Just move some of this stuff aside. And I'm going to start with by sticking my designer paper here right to the, move some stuff out of the way, to the front of my card base. So I'm going to use liquid adhesive. 5/16 better. It's great to see you ladies here again this week. So I'm using liquid adhesive, but you guys can use whatever adhesive you prefer. I'm going to make sure that's butt up to the top and to the side. Now, if you do have any overhang or anything, you can always trim it down. Okay, it's always easier to trim something down than it is to add to it. And I've just got a little bit right here, so I'm just going to get a pair of scissors here and cut that down. So, awesome. And then I've got my next piece But before I do that, what I am going to do is I'm going to stamp on it. So we're going to use the Butterfly Gala stamp set today. Now it does come with a coordinating punch, this here. This punch is currently unavailable, but will be back in stock about mid to late April, but the stamp set's still available. So you can always hand cut, fussy cut your images out if you don't have the punch at the moment. So I'm just going to grab my little butterfly. Now these images do come, I'll show you what they do. I can get it off. They come stuck together. So you've got a little butterfly and a big one. And all I've gone and done is just cut my little butterfly off, so I don't have to have it stuck to my thing. And then you can always stick them back on when you stick them to your block so that they line up with your punch anyway. So it's not going to hurt the stamp or the image anyway. And I'm going to stamp this randomly with my Lucky Limeade ink pad. Now, this is one of the ink colours that's actually retiring at the end of May. So you're going to want to get some ink refills and stuff with this if you want to, if you really like this ink pad. So I'm just going to stamp it randomly. Oh, and while I've got that open, what I am going to do is I've got some scrap of the exact same pattern paper, and I'm just going to trim this off. We'll do it down the bottom here. Randomly stamp it 3 times on here as well. And then using my butterfly punch. Now once again, if you don't have this punch, you can always fussy cut them out by hand. I'm just going to punch out my butterflies. Okay, so I'm just going to turn those over and get rid of all those other bits of rubbish. Right, and we can now stick this down to my card front as well. Remembering this piece here measures 5 7/8 by 3 3/4. I just want to leave equal borders on both the left and right sides. And the other reason I like to use liquid glue is before it sets, I can actually move it into place in case I put it down crooked, which seems to be a common occurrence for myself right now. So once again, I'm just going to trim off the excess. Now it's always better to cut your paper slightly larger so that you can. It's easier to trim it off than it is to add on. And now I've got my butterflies here, and I'm going to stick these, like so. I'm just going to stick those down just using liquid adhesive. I'm just going to bend their wings up a bit so they look like they're in flight. One. Like so. And then those little bits that we cut out, I'm actually going to use some mini Stampin' Dimensionals. So these are like really tiny ones. Now if you don't have the minis, you can always just cut your bigger ones down size. I'm just going to randomly stick these in here as well. Put it under there. This one in down there. Oh, I've already stamped there. Tuck it in behind there. Okay, so my greeting, I do have a scrap piece of Whisper White, and my greeting is going to come from the same stamp set, and I'm going to use this one here. It says a little note. This one just here says a little note. Get my block. One thing about your grid paper is you can line it up and stick your block on top, so you're going to get a straight sentiment. And I'm going to ink this up using my Grapefruit Groove, which is from this year's In Colours. I'm just going to stamp it. Try that again, because I want to forgot to leave some tail. Cool, that's better. Now you can always use your paper trimmer, or you can eyeball it like I just did. And then I'm going to add some flags to it. So I'm just going to snip down the centre, and then from the corner down to that centre there to create a tail. That way I know that they're even. So I'll do it again on this side as well. I'm going to put this on with a Stampin' Dimensional. So use one of my full size ones. I'm just going to stick it in the middle, to be honest. Just need one. Stick that right there. And then to finish it off, I've got these, what are these? Gingham Gala Adhesive Back Sequence. And they come in all the colours, the In Colours that are retiring. So I'm going to use these ones. These have already got adhesive on the back of them too, which makes it even easier to use. I like to put mine in clusters of 3. Find that's more appealing to the eye. Like that. And there we go. There's our card for today. So we've basically used the feature of our pattern paper to create this card. So this card here is also, this paper is available at the moment for Sale-a-bration to the end of March. So make sure you grab that quickly before it goes. You can shop online. There's the link there to shop online in my online store. And if you place an order today through to Friday using the hostess code right here, I will send you the project kit in the mail. Make sure you put down that you want to be contacted so I know where to send that project kit to, and you can be able to follow along with me next week. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next week.